years for our diploma project. Can you see it? Okay.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a game design in the end called Growing Minds. And this paper about more like the process for it, because it's a practice-based case study that has come out while we are working for this project for a year. The whole focus was co-designing with children and looking from their eyes and how can they be integrated in the way we think about education. But when we are in the road to continue, we didn't decide which output or outcome we are going to reach. We have just focused on the problem statement. What are the lacking skill gaps that these kids need? And how can we generate them for them in a fun way? So in that we had a very variety of different secondary research before we go to the field. And our master was focusing on sustainable innovations and sustainable futures. So for that, we wanted to focus on the power of education and how can we put sustainable practices in everyday life. And for that, we use the education and for a really young age, when their behaviors and skills and characters are building, we decided to put them. So we decided that rather than abstract information and different kind of policies to put it on environmental education, we need to go in the field and we need to really see how can we create some impact. So I can say that we are focusing here with co-designing with children, how children's initiative actions and hesitations and play behaviors can be data for us, and we can use that as a tool. And when we are focusing on this, the age was between 5 to 7. We had different tests in different schools, but there was one main school we have focused on, France in Grasse, to really see the impact evolution and how their behavior and their skill set changed. So we wanted to see how a play-based tool can be a design method and also a framework for teachers to teach or let them engage with each other. And we had this research question and how can co-designing with children inform the development of sustainable education tools, and also revealing the pedagogical issues in environmental education. And first time we had a really huge observation time where we were seeing the kids, their engagement with the teacher, their engagement with each other, and how they were acting when there is a task in front of them. And we have seen that they're most likely to reach for a teacher's help. They always want to give the correct answer and never want to engage or learn from each other. So there was a really lack of adaptation skills or figuring out things by themselves, exploring. They just know how to receive an answer and repeat it rather than thinking by themselves. So as we moved on, we realized that the process is the most important thing and the outcome will come out itself as we test it. So as we play with them and we tested and checked their response towards our game, we realized that it's already growing by itself. The outcome comes together. And in the preliminary research, we had some points where we focused on experiential learning and Reggio Emilia, which is the philosophy of child-centered innovation in education. We made the rules, challenges, and everything social interaction according to the movements they did. So if we put some tool in front of them, if they didn't engage well, or they got distracted, or if they were so isolated and it didn't help with collaboration, we have changed that part of it. And we had the constructivist learning. We wanted to put meaning into it, and as they play and they more action, they have learned more about it. Participatory design was the main key. It's also because we are originally designers, it helped us to really move forward. And in the end, we want this to be a little inspiration for systematic and transformative learning in alternative education. The way that also we had a part where we focused on teachers' attitude towards the kids as well, because they were very engaging and they were trying to fix everything as they learn. But with this game, they also learned a little letting the kids by themselves to learn. So after our observations and our secondary research, we have decided main 3 skills we want to focus on, which was system thinking, adaptation, and collaboration. It was also related to main sustainable problems we have and making them ready for the more climate conscious future. We also saw that they have a very poor skills on collaboration and problem solving because they had a very linear way of learning. And it was very individual, especially in French education system. And the process flow I already discussed a little bit, that we did the secondary research, field observation, and we did prototype and play test. We had 3 different prototypes, and then in that way we did revision. And in the end, we had a final product, and we have tested again in several schools. We had the impact tool as well, which really changed the way they play. They learned how to talk with each other. And also they created more meaningful systems as they play. And from field observations, we got the movement, symbols, ecological connections, and the game itself come together. And if I need to explain the game starts with a centerpiece where they go around in the environment and pick a piece. It can be a seed, a leaf, whatever, and they put it on the center. And from that center, they started to build like a circular way. Next to the seed, they put the plant, and plant next to the water, and the water becomes a rain. So this way they create different kind of cycles and a huge system. But as they play, they need to adapt with each other's sensors as well. So you cannot just go in a linear way, you have to go in a dynamic way, and you need to create a huge system and find leaks between cycles as well. And the game doesn't have any correct or wrong answer. This was especially for them to really break this mindset of making mistake, because they were so hesitant to make mistakes that they never joined any activity. Right? They only looked at their teachers to get an answer to continue. This way, they also created confidence in each other and moved on. And in our paper as well, we have talked about which skill gaps we identified. And after, with the game, as we learn, we teach them how to do the ecological system mapping and certain cycles. They also improve these skill sets. And while we're doing these, we looked at what is the gap and how can it fix it and how this translates into the game. So collecting from the nature was our sensory engagement, seeing the around, how you can work in the space, and the adaptation part. And creating a shared map was the system thinking here. Building on another child's move also helped with adaptation plus collaboration. And in the end, which something made us very happy, that they started learning from each other, which was very lacking. So asking peers about unknown items or discussing over the game also helped them create communication and confidence. And then as they moved on, the direction changed rapidly. There is no like 2 + 2 equals to 4 situation. So they had to have some kind of flexibility and problem solving in them. So in that sense, Growing Mind became a tool for teachers. And after testing, we have got feedback from different teachers saying that this can be implemented in different topics as well, like teaching the alphabets or anything that goes from minor to major, from a small pieces to become a system. Yes, and we had several insights that we have gathered from this, which we have built. This is our first prototype we have done. It was a little mock-up we did with only images, which made a lot of confusions because there was no similar language. It made them a little bit distracted rather than putting the system mapping. They were more interested in the images and the animal itself. And the size was a little too big for them. We changed it into this, where we made more like similar language symbols and a smaller item and made it more dynamic. But it also created the issue with the visual as because they're playing on the floor, it made it hard to see it. So in the end, this was our final product, as you can see. We made from wood and then we made it puttable and they can hold it. And with the similar language, they're more focused on creating the system and connecting with the nature ourselves. So this is one of our activities we have done in a community garden with our kids. In the end, we had created the impact report and we have given these tools for teachers. In fact, right now we are also working for a smaller version of the board game for them to be more in-class activity and help the teachers. And yes, so I can come to the summary. And we have a little teaser. I want you to watch that, to showing all the process and how it came together. But I can say as a summary to three takeaways for this complex discussion is that children's initiative actions can reveal what education tools need to become more meaningful, which means that I think we should stop looking from an outside view or from top, rather than we should see from their eyes, and we shouldn't assume that their understanding is limited because of their age. So they are more capable than we have thought. And sustainability learning becomes stronger when it's active, sensory, and collaborative and play-based. It starts from a young age, where as you put these, rather than teaching a certain topic, if we teach how to do things and how can we improve the skills, it's gonna be helpful for them in the future as well. And play-based co-design can function as a research method and a design process and a learning framework. It's a common topic in that many people say is that the gamification and how play-based can be a really strong tool. And we really saw the evidence of it in this project as well. And I think the design should be more in education framework. Designing how to teach is a very strong tool. Now I'd like to share the video before we go to questions. That's the what sound came. Can you hear the sound? It's not audible.
No, we do not hear the sound. When you share the screen, you should see on the right, there is an option that says share sound. You need to click on that, otherwise we cannot hear the sound. So if you stop sharing, when you go on the button share, on the right, you should see share sound. So if you,
Okay.
all right. There you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice comments about, oh, I know. We got squirrels, them in trees. So you got
We took the flower from the blossom tree and that tree was
okay.
and then this that box from That's a true place.
I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was it was very hands-on, and it was good for communication, working together as a team, and bringing kind of to practice and for fun what is happening outdoors in nature and ecosystems, which I think should constantly be brought to kids' attentions and more focus and more time spent in this area. So I think it's really spot on in that sense.